Probably.
All right,
would.
ladies, be warned. Brett may puke on you.
He's not getting this offer right now. This is a scenario.
No, this is based on things that will never happen, right?
All right,
Or-
let's do it right now.
What? Let's do it right now. When I was getting a physical to play football, I think
I've never been fondled.
the RN, which obviously they check you for a hernia. And before she did, she's like, "Everything okay with your balls?" And I was like, which I think she said because it was a 14-year-old kid, but
Well, see, here's the thing. I've always heard stories about that. Why is that so funny? It's the truth. They're
That is
checking for
so-
testicular cancer.
It's so funny.
no, she wasn't doing that. She was checking me for a hernia.
Well, they're checking you for both.
Well, probably.
'Cause they're looking for lumps, right?
No, because
They're like all.
you can't. When they check for a hernia, they just
Don't they grab it? Or?
no. Have
See,
you?
I've never
I
had it
told
done.
you. Garfield and Friends from Fickle
Oh.
Fanboys.
Now, which one?
The second one, not the
Yes.
first one.
This one.
Times a hit.
Yeah, they hate that one.
Do-do-do-do-do.
There are two
There's
actual
two-
songs.
there's two of
Oh,
them.
The
well,
second
that's what
one,
he sent me a picture.
Ready?
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 Two.
To
Party!
We're ready
To party.
We're
ready. Dun, dun,
I hope you bring lots of spaghetti.
dun, dun.
Come on in, come on down to Garfield and Friends. Come on in. It's time to party with Garfield,
Garfield
and
and
Friends. And then I think there's another
I love
verse.
how we all know that one.
I think there's another verse.
There
in it.
is. There's a little bit more to it. I have a list of movie titles that were almost called something else. Star Wars Episode 6 was almost called Revenge of the Jedi. We know this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're nerds. Alex might not have known that.
I was like, what are you talking about? It's not Revenge of the Jedi.
No,
it's
no, no.
Return. I was like, bitch, you ain't no nerd.
Head cheese.
Head cheese?
Mm-hmm.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Alex?
I have no idea.
Yep.
Yeah!
Why,
Nice!
Why head cheese?
Because I remember there's in the Texas Chainsaw, the remake in '01, they go into that rest stop
Mm-hmm.
and there's a pig's head
Yep.
in the display case, and head cheese is you boil
How
a
did you
pig's
make
head.
that freaking connection, Brett?
That is a photographic memory at
Oh
work.
my god.
What is the McGangbang?
McDonald's McGangbang. Simply order a McDouble and a McChicken. The McChicken sandwich is placed directly inside the juicy McDouble, buns and all. So if a normal McDouble doesn't quite fill you up, take the chance by combining a McChicken McDouble from McDonald's secret menu.
So then do you just order the two different pieces, or do you
You
order
say,
a
I want the surf
McGangbang?
and turf, and they'll give you the two.
And they'll give you the two and you put it together. I'm not into the fish thing, but I think I would do the McGangbang.
Yeah.
That does not sound fun at all. You know what, honey? Let's try a McGangbang.
Are you bringing that to the table, Alex? Are we
We
having
can
this
set it on
discussion?
the table and do it right here on the podcast. Try a McGangbang on the podcast.
Wow. Wow.
So Die Hard started a
I
trend.
hate Speed 2.
Why?
It's pretty
It's
bad.
horrible.
It's kind of like, it's more of a watch it because it's laughably bad.
Yes.
There are a few parts that I thought Sandra Bullock was pretty funny.
She's a great actress, but she sucks in that movie.
She cuts open the door with the chainsaw and then she's like revving it. Can you guys get out?
If you back up with the saw,
What?
if you back up with the saw, we'll give it a try.
It's so bad.
It is very bad writing. It is
Oh,
very bad.
Bad.
But I always thought of it as more of an action type than a funny movie, and it turns out this, like, as an adult watching it, it's a terrible
It's
film.
horrible.
That was a great
That's great.
quote of by
Yeah.
Josh. I just got a Charlie horse in my thigh.
Oh shoot!
I
You
thought that
okay?
You were gonna fart or
Do
something.
you need something?
Hey, where's your Charlie
Just give
horse?
me time. It's on the bottom of this thigh.
Hey, you can do this. Put your foot out. Put your
I
foot
can't.
Out. Do it.
No.
Put your
Oh shoot!
Ah! Put it out. Now flex your foot up, like your toes towards the ceiling. It looks like you're trying to take a shit.
What do you need to
Well, I
do?
don't want it to look like
What do you
that.
want to do?
I'm trying to put my foot over there. Help me. My back's to the camera. This is
No, you're fine.
ridiculous.
You're fine. You're okay.
It's
You're okay.
ridiculous.
You're okay. You're
Let's do some
Doing some friggin' Christmas trivia.
Welcome to the PTO Unlimited podcast. My name is Josh.
Alex.
This is episode 369. I'm waiting for you to say it. I'm just waiting. Come on.
Suck it to me, baby, one more time.
Get low. Get low.
We're
get low.
not millennials.
369 episodes. 369. Damn, you're fine. So it's been a quite a bunch of stuff happening in the last couple of weeks. Done a lot of travels. Last time you guys saw us, we had just come back from Cedar Point, so we were able to talk about that.
Yep.
We've had a few other things over the past couple of weeks go down, so we're going to get into talking about that today. We appreciate y'all joining us live on YouTube. And if you have not caught us live and you're listening to the audio, we are live every other Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our channel. So appreciate the subscriptions and the likes, follows, all that jazz. So it's been kind of crazy. I haven't been streaming for a couple of weeks. You haven't been streaming for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. It felt very odd being online last night.
I'm telling you, it feels weird kind of being here right now because like we're back after a couple of weeks of doing our own thing for once. We haven't done that in a long time. We haven't taken time off.
We packed the suitcase up and put it away. Which was odd because we've left it out for like 3 weeks solid because we just keep unpacking and repacking because we keep leaving.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing.
But
I said
like, I told you, I said, this is a record for the most amount of times we've packed and repacked suitcase.
And we might have another one soon.
Month.
Like another one soon.
And then we're probably going to have another one soon. So like
we're not certain.
There's so many opportunities.
A lot of opportunities happening. So after we did our Cedar Point trip, which we were gone for a couple of days, and so I wasn't live, you weren't live. Then I did some travels to the office, so I wasn't live that week. And then we went up to Michigan together to celebrate a birthday party for your bestie.
Yeah.
It was an interesting long trip, to say the least. Like a good couple hours north.
Good couple few.
We went to the Cancun of Michigan.
Bahamas.
Sorry.
Oh no, I just know that's what it was called. Like on Facebook, it said that it was nicknamed the Bahamas of Michigan.
Yeah, Torch Lake, which is like a good solid 100 feet of shores that go in for a while. That's like hip deep. And it's just clear water.
Yeah, it's just pure clear water. Apparently,
nice.
There's not even any life that can sustain in that lake, I guess. But yeah, we were up at Torch Lake for
like 2.5 days.
Yeah, 2.5 days.
You were there earlier than me, and you were dealing with the whole like rain. And
I mean, we went up there on like the coldest, rainiest weekend ever, but you know what, when you're crunched and you're trying to get everybody to go the same weekend and you don't really have a lot of other options, and you go when you go. And luckily so we got the cabin Friday night and Saturday night, and it was a really nice cabin.
Very nice cabin.
Very nice cabin. It was in the woods in Michigan. It was very quiet. And just waking up in the morning and seeing like all the trees and grabbing our cup of coffee and sitting out on the porch before everyone else woke up and was just sipping on the coffee with it kind of sprinkling.
I had that idea, by the way. I was like, let's sip on some coffee and sit on the porch.
We're just going to wait for people to get out of bed naturally. We didn't have a bedtime. We didn't have a wake up time. It was just, we didn't really even have any plans. The only plan was eventually we're going to make it out to the lake and cross our fingers that the sun comes out. And sure enough,
it happened.
The sun did come out and was out for about 4 or 5 hours.
And we blew up this inner tube
this like 12-person inner tube.
It's supposed to fit like 6 or 7 comfortably. We were fitting like all adults on there comfortably.
We had
pretty well.
How many of us?
We had
7.
We
had 7 of us.
Yeah, 7 people, and only one person was like normally out of the raft pushing it or whatever.
We had 7 people, and we could have easily fit another 2 or 3.
Could probably had 8.
Oh yeah,
like 8 or 9
8
together.
to 10.
Yeah,
I think.
I mean, nobody was really hanging out where you, me, and Michael were. We had our own little like spot of the side. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
but
it was a decent time. Yeah,
it was fun. We went karaokeing.
We did. It was really funny because the my best friend and I sang "Pretty Fly for a White Guy," and the karaoke host, like, of course, like my best friend and I sang every word by heart because like
That's
that
one
was
of your
like a
songs.
CD we grew up on in like the
Yeah.
5th grade, and we got done singing it and we got a lot of like crowd reaction, and the MC got on the mic and was like, by the way, I'm really surprised to see like basically 2 young girls be able to sing that word for word. Like, I'm surprised you guys know that song. And we both like looked at each other and looked at him. We're like, how old do you think we are?
Yeah, what
or
in the world
whatever.
was that
It's
about?
like, or how young do you think we are? And we both looked at each other like, we're old. We know this song. Are you kidding me? So I was like, oh, they think we're young.
But you and I have gotten some color, of being out in the sun from that week.
I love how you say that, but I see us on the screen and we still look pale as fuck.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we got some more color than we can look back a couple of episodes and you'll be like, oh yeah, we actually do have some tone. It was a fun time up there.
Yeah,
and then,
it was a very beautiful lake.
And then for 4th of July, which happy Independence Day, by the way, everybody. Hope you all are safe. There's a few stupid idiots out there with fireworks.
Like
I
there
hear
are every year.
A lot of news on that. Man, what in the world? It's just don't do dumb things with explosives. Come on, people. You're carrying basic TNT and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like, come on, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, we were both stupid when we were teenagers, but we didn't do anything too reckless.
First
you launched
time,
a bottle rocket off of a Roman candle pipe.
The first time I actually am allowed to handle, because my parents never let me handle more than a sparkler or literally anything that went off the ground. I was not allowed to handle.
You almost wonder why.
And yeah, I almost wonder why. And then I go to South Dakota as a teenager to visit my boyfriend over here. And my boyfriend went, oh, you never messed with fireworks before? You know what's really cool? You get an empty Roman candle and you stick a sparkler.
No, you stick a bottle rocket.
Oh, bottle rocket in it,
and you just right off.
Yeah, you just point the stick away, and it'll like launch out of it, and
it got stuck.
And yeah, so I go and do that, and the damn thing gets stuck and blows up in my face.
I'll never forget that.
Oh, because it's so safe. My first time being able to handle a damn thing, and I'm like, nope, I'm not handling anymore.
That was just a bad moment.
By the way, hashtag don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Just listen to what she says.
Don't do that.
Does.
That's very dangerous.
She's trying to not be a hypocrite in this story.
No, don't do that.
Learn from the mistake at that point.
Yes.
It's not that. It's okay. You that was a.
Oh, it only scared the shit out of me. It's okay.
Worse,
it could have been way worse.
But
yes.
It wasn't. But I did see that comment that one of our viewers, Sassy, put on there saying that she's not far from Torch.
That's cool.
I didn't know that. We were pretty far up there. That was a long drive.
We were pretty far north. I was like 5-hour drive from here.
This was the first year you and I did not do actual like our own fireworks for. It's been like almost a full decade since, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we actually went and watched the show.
We usually have, like, family that gets a bunch of fireworks, and we light them off at, like, my grandma's or something. And this year, everybody was like, my mom was telling me that bundles of fireworks were, like, ridiculously expensive. And the prices that she was telling me, I was like, Mom, thank God you didn't buy any fireworks. Let's just watch our neighbors shoot their money off in the air. It's fine.
And everybody left before then. Like, everyone was like, oh, everyone's leaving.
Well, I mean, the only reason we had to leave was because my brother had to.
Your brother had to work in the morning. It is what it is.
It is what it is. We found a nice, peaceful spot at a local park and watched the city's fireworks from there. And then there was also lots of people shooting them off in the park. So it was just, it was fun.
It was fun.
And then we went home and tried to turn on Independence Day. And then I'm too old to stay up after the fireworks and fell asleep.
Okay. My day was done. I had to work in the morning. It was midnight.
So did I.
It was midnight. I wanted to go to bed.
I know.
Like,
I really didn't realize it was that like late when we were watching it.
You and I have bedtime procrastination like a mother sometimes.
I know
and that's
we do.
one of those.
I know we do.
One of those times we're sitting there. Oh, let's just continue on with our. We will scroll TikTok for like an hour and a half
past our bedtime. We're like, but this is fun.
That's our entertainment these days.
I know. It's
Instead
fun.
of putting on a damn movie, we just keep on scrolling through things.
So I have realized something I wanted to let you know.
Go ahead.
So back like rewind Oh geez. Like 8-9 months ago,
Okay.
maybe even 10 months ago, even a year if you want to rewind that far back.
All right.
I had to start taking like medication to be able to try to go to sleep because my brain was not calming down, and I
Oh,
had
that's
just like so
right.
much anxiety about waking up and starting my day or just going to sleep. And
I
I'm
forgot
like,
about
I was
that.
prescribed special pills to go to sleep.
Man, what kind of a dumb husband am I that I forget about that? you were
And I don't know
traumatized with
why.
sleeping.
I don't know why. It wasn't traumatized from sleepy. It was just
You're struggling.
I just had so much stress and anxiety built up.
So, are you acknowledging something here?
Yes. So I realized, like, especially this last week, you know how I used to look at you and go, "My gosh, I wish I could just fall asleep that easy."
Yeah.
I don't take an hour to fall asleep anymore. I take like 5 minutes. And I was like, I don't think, and I've actually realized, I don't know when it started, but
How
I've
the
realized it,
turntables.
like, I can just go to sleep now.
Right?
Like,
How crazy
like,
is that?
like what's, you know how you're like, the night of, the night, 4th of July night.
Yeah.
You're like, what, how do you have so much energy? You're trying to stay up and watch Independence Day. It's like 1 o'clock
Yeah.
in the morning. We have to work in the morning. I'm like,
Right.
yeah, you're right. And I had all this energy, but all we had to do was turn something on. I snuggled on the couch with you, and then I was out. Like, that's all it took was, okay, time to go to bed.
Wow. It's crazy how your mind's doing that now then.
Like, it's weird.
What kind of an Alex do we have?
Different.
Different.
It's different. But I was like, I don't think I can't tell you any time during my life other than maybe even as a teenager, like I was just always like stressed about school, or
Yeah.
I just my next day is already planned. I wake up, I
Do your
clock
thing.
in between 9 and 9:30 and clock out at 5, and
You got the rest of the day.
and then like after today, like remember we clocked out today at 5, and then was like, we're gonna go for a walk, and it was just, it's too hot to take Pixel with us because it's 90 degrees, but like
yeah.
it's 5 o'clock and I'm on a Monday, and I'm just like going for a walk. Like I didn't have to like deal with traffic and drive home, and
No.
I didn't have to worry about bringing the work stress home. And I mean, UCV gets stressed at work because you're there,
Right.
and it's funny the things I get stressed about. And
Yeah, you're sometimes not fun around like 11 o'clock in the morning. 'Cause
I
that's when you're in the
I
heat
you
of
know what,
things.
I bet you what's funny is that you said that, and I was like, I bet you if you ask any person at any job I've ever been at, if you you could be like, how fun is Alex before noon? You could be like, I want to kill her, or she wants to kill
well,
me.
at 10, you always make me laugh because you always have to go to the bathroom at 10. So I just
gotta
know.
poop.
Yeah, I just know that that's like your 10 o'clock time.
I know, but I was never programmed like that my whole life. I'm serious. I was never programmed.
Now you're kind of
Which is really weird because, like, not to like be too personal, but like I was lucky if I pooped twice a week.
Wow.
Before this new job.
You just didn't have time.
I didn't have time, or it was stress, and it was just the way my body was, and that's the way it was my whole life basically. And like I would be like, oh my god, you've pooped like 3 times today, how do you do that? Like it's a superpower.
Yeah.
And now every morning I'm like, damn it, I have to poop.
You're like, this is what it's like.
I was like, oh my god, like
This
it's
is what it's like to
it's
be a human, not a robot.
It's so weird. It's
Isn't
like,
it,
but that
though?
means I'm healthy, so
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, vacation does that to you as well. Taking time away from the house, you're able to actually. You slept like a brick at the cabin. You slept,
oh my god, like
You slept just fine in the hotel while we were in Indy last weekend.
both hotels.
And the
Cedar Point and this hotel.
Yeah.
I thought like any other time, like, you know, if we were to have gone down to the hotel for a Comic-Con,
Mm-hmm.
I would have stayed up and been like, oh my god, and been thinking about
Stressing
the next
about
morning, and like
things.
now I'm just like,
You don't even
my
wake up
head
to the
hits
people
the
in the
pillow,
hallway.
and
No.
I can't even make it 5 minutes.
You don't wake up to the people in the hallway either. You don't. Like when we were there last weekend, there was a whole bunch of people in the hallway in the morning getting ready for their baseball game. You had no idea.
No.
I was up before you, and I was like, I'm gonna go back to sleep because I heard all that stuff, all the commotion. I was like, yeah.
No, I'm a heavy sleeper now. Like I used to be able to like one tiny little thing and I'd wake up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm out.
It's crazy.
Well, the other thing you were talking about, which was really funny before the show, was we were having dinner. We had dinner before.
We had dinner before the show.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
Or 7 p.m. We had dinner before 7 p.m. High five.
7 a.m. Let's go.
I would have been so moody if we didn't eat before the podcast. Do you see how like different I am? Like now that I have a full belly. No, so we were like talking to, like you were like, oh babe, I'm so proud of you. I'm like, what? You're like, you're not coming home from work and wanting to go straight to bed or taking a nap or whatever. And I was like, as soon as you said that, you're like, dinner's ready. I went to go like put a bunch of like, we had sloppy joes. I put a bunch of meat on the bun and was like,
you yawned. I was like, what are you doing?
No, I'm totally down. Anytime you want to take a nap, I'm like, okay, let's take a nap. But I will say, like, there has been times over the weekend where you're like, oh, I feel like taking a quick nap. And I'm like, no, stay up. What are you doing?
My quick naps are like 10 minutes.
I know, but it's weird. I'm saying like, oh, I don't need a nap.
I just need a reset. My
It's
brain
just, I don't know. I'm so different.
It's a flick of a switch, just beep, and I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but that
But
just
I don't know, to kind of like go back because we got off on a tangent. But I was like, I realized last night when I was going to sleep, I was like, I used to have to take pills on the like nightly.
Yeah.
And then have to take the same pills first thing in the morning or around like 10, 11 a.m. because I would start to feel like my anxiety peak on top of my additional anti-anxiety medication.
Right. Yeah.
And not saying like I don't have anxiety anymore because trust me, I still have.
It's still there.
It's still there. It's never going away. It's an
No.
incurable illness.
And we'll get into that when we talk about Inside Out too.
Oh, right. But yeah, it's just so weird that like I needed meds to be able to be like, calm the fuck down.
No, I know.
And now it's like, I'm just gonna go to bed.
So, like, is there anything else we want to touch on for Independence Day? Because we're going to talk about the
I mean, we watched
cosplay
it.
stuff. We watched it.
We watched the movie. Like, we finished it yesterday. I mean, it took us a couple days, but
Oh, the movie Independence Day.
Yeah.
I thought you're okay. I was mentioning like the other...
Yeah, I know you were mentioning the date, but no, we didn't really do anything too special. We did the typical, have some grilled burgers and then fireworks and then night.
And then night.
Yeah, that's about it.
So, on Friday we drove down to Indy and did another trip, and this time to another cosplay kind of competition thing. So this was a success in our eyes. You looked great.
Well, you helped.
I know I did, but you looked amazing in this whole get-up. I mean, the coloring and everything. Even though I know you did some editing to this image as far as like tone goes, but like,
all I did not a lot actually.
Probably just up the contrast a little bit.
Yeah, and I made it less blurry.
That's freaking you.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I've looked at this image like quite a bit and like zoomed in and examined like all the different pieces and
yeah,
like yeah, that's me. That was actually when I posted this picture on my work chat. They're like, "That's you." I said,
"That's
Alex." I said, "Yeah, that's me."
And then I took this photo of you. This one's not as good as the other one. I like the other one more, but this was in front of the actual like Days of the Dead like banner.
You can really see the length of my sword or my knife, ew. Like in that picture though. I really like that.
Yeah, it was a great shot. The contest itself was, I can't say...
It wasn't really a cosplay competition. It was more of like I would call it more of a costume contest, not a cosplay contest.
There you go, costume contest.
But still, I was just at the last con we were at Indie PopCon. We were suggested to look at, oh my gosh, you should take this to like a horror con. And then I started to look up local horror cons, and I was like, oh, there's this horror con that's really popular. It goes to super big like cities every year, like LA, Chicago, New York, and whatnot. Well, Indy's on there.
Yeah.
And it's called Days of the Dead, and it was actually pretty damn popular. But yeah, it was a 3-day con and all focused around like horror movies and horror video games, anything horror. And there was a costume contest, so I decided, why not just the contest itself, but like why not just go down there and start spreading the cute kitty cosplay word. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
And I went down and wore my Lady Pyramid Head cosplay and got a lot of attention. And I will say that there was a total different energy
Oh
from
my gosh.
this type of crowd
You ain't lying.
than the so indie PopCon is like PG,
Mhm.
and this is like R13. No, even though there's like kids and stuff everywhere, they're only bringing their kids because their kids are like growing up on horror.
I want to point out the
movies.
winners here. The one in the yellow is the kid who won. That was young Jason, and then Jason, the stormtrooper, got first place.
Yeah, what sucks because we didn't get the picture of his backpack.
What's behind him? Yeah.
That's what really actually got him first place because it had like a bunch of trinkets from like
Evil Dead had the Book of the Dead.
It was like a lot of different horror movies, and there was a
Yeah.
bunch of trinkets on his back, and it made noise and whatnot. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and you got runner up, but they didn't really have again. They didn't have this actual prize that was actually a thing. They're like, all right, well, we're just gonna make a runner up.
They made a place for me.
They made a place for you again.
They said they couldn't really. They only had 2 places. They had a first place adult, a first place child. And they said, well, we had a really difficult time trying to figure out who we wanted to grab for first place adult. So, why don't, how about Lady Pyramid Head? How much you come up here? And I was like, ha ha.
You're like,
well,
I knew it.
So there was no prejudging. So I don't want to try to be conceited about anything. But like, I walked up there and after everybody took pictures, like that one picture you just saw on there about with the winners, I lifted my helmet up to be like, oh, thank you, judges, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, oh my God, that was just so cool. I had when I went up on stage, I turned my my Bluetooth on inside my helmet
and we found out that the volume was the issue. It wasn't
we turned
the
the volume all the way up in the speaker.
That was
and
loud.
It plays the Silent Hill siren as well as like some scraping, like metal scraping.
Was that one the scraping?
Mhm.
I don't know if
I think it was, yeah.
I was just being the
I don't know. I went up there and I did a little act. I looked at one of the judges on stage and I twisted my head towards him and went to go grab him and scared him a little bit. And then I posed and got off stage. Well, at the end when I'm thanking the judges, they were just like, "Oh my God, this is just, outstanding." And one of them said like, "Where'd you get the helmet?" And I was like, "I made it." And again, there was no prejudging, so I didn't talk to them prior to. And they were like, "Wait, you made this?" And I said, "Yeah, I made everything but the leather boots." And they said, "What?" And I was like, "Yes, I made it."
Yeah.
And so I think if they would have known that, because all of them kind of flocked to me afterwards and they found out I made it, and then they started examining it and wanting to touch it. What'd you make it out of? Blah, blah, blah. I probably would have gotten first if they would have known that. But anyway, there was no prejudging. It was just go up there and do a little skit and walk off. But it wasn't for any money or it wasn't for even a certificate. They just had like these little
recognition.
It was more recognition.
Yeah.
So these little like goodie bags and stuff that they from vendors that they put together. So I got some cool like horror gift basket basically.
We ate your prize.
Yeah, we did. There was some candy in there.
You didn't know that you like Sour Patch Kids.
I just, as an adult, I'm finding things and I'm like, wow, that's really good. I didn't like that.
Sour Patch Kids
I'd
now.
never really liked them before.
They're kind of.
That was pretty good though.
But yeah,
but yeah, so I ended up getting a place that didn't really exist. They just created it. So if I could share first place, I got a shared first place. So I mean, it's easy to just say I just got second place. So it's fine.
Right.
But yeah, there was a few people that actually, okay, so there was tons of people that wanted pictures just like normal.
You had
but
so many people.
I will say that in Indie PopCon, everyone's like,
so
"Hey,
good.
can I have your picture? Hey, can I stand away? Can I like?" They're just like really. They're not
timid.
like, "Oh my God!" Like, yeah, they're really timid. And I will say, like this horror con, I heard girls squeal when they saw me and run up to me. "Oh my God, it's Pyramid Head!" And it's just like, "Oh man, scary
like, I'm
Pyramid
just trying to
Head."
get through the
Oh my
door.
God, I need a picture.
You know how many times you were stopped in a doorway? You probably have no idea.
I couldn't see.
Well, it was most of the time there was somebody at
There
the
was the last
entrances.
time we walked through a doorway though. I did hear someone go, "Oh my God, look at her!" Like, and I know if we were walking through a doorway. And then it was like a big like group of people, like, "Oh my God!" Like it was like I could tell it was like, "Oh, this must be a new room," like of people.
That was the celebrity one.
Oh, really?
The other celebrity.
Yeah, that
one. There
was
are
the
two
celebrity. Yeah, that was
ones.
the celebrity one.
Mhm.
But yeah, I walked in a doorway, and just people were squealing and coming up to me. I was like, oh my god, okay. But it was funny because this group of people was just a little bit out there because most of the time I'd just be like, oh, she'll pose for you, or they just wanted a picture of me. A lot of people this time wanted pictures with me.
Yeah.
And one guy, again, I had my helmet on, I can't see. I knew that there was a dude coming at me that was in full costume that had like some kind of gas mask on. I don't know what he was from.
I think he was from My Bloody Valentine.
Sure. Actually, I think you're right.
I think he had the pickaxe and everything.
Yeah. So he all of a sudden I felt like, so I pose usually with my left hand out like I'm gonna grab somebody. Well, I felt his hand on my wrist gently move it, and I'm like, where are you moving my hand? And I felt it go around like his neck, and I was like, and I twisted. I was like, and I have to talk really loud because nobody can hear me through my helmet. I was like, oh, you want me to choke you? And I already have my hand kind of around his neck, and I just feel like a up and down really hard. And I was like, oh, okay.
I had to take a photo of him.
So we've got a photo somewhere of like me like posing, choking him, and going, oh my god. And then later
on your Discord, I can probably pull it up here.
Yeah, it's on Discord. And then later on we had just another, nobody in costume. There it is. Nobody in actual costume. It was just a fan that was there, and she I'm posing, and she goes, can you choke me? And I just started laughing, and I just, I can't, they can't hear me, so I'm just nodding up and down, and I stick my hand out, and I was like, I just said really loud, you have to put my hand on your neck, I can't see it. So she put my hand on her neck, and I just like grabbed it and did a pose. But I was like, that's two people that just want me to straight up choke up for him, which I get because that's what Pyramid Head does, is like he goes out and he like grabs you. But I thought that was hilarious, and people think it was hilarious. And then towards the end of the day, I did another pose where I'm just kind of like, I have my knife angled down instead of up. I have it angled down like I'm gonna like come up and swipe somebody, and people were like straddling it and telling me to move it up and down like I'm chopping their chopping their genitals off. And then one person walked by and said, have her step on you.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
I was like, oh my god, this crowd is hilarious. So, but yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then at the very end we had this like famous painter, like artist.
I think he was an artist for Scanners or an actor for Scanners or something.
He does.
He
was
art
like,
on his own time.
He
I know that it's his hobby.
But
he says it's his hobby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a hobby.
It's
so
not his actual job.
He was this famous person. Again, I'm not really sure who it is.
You know what,
maybe if we go through the people, we might know who it is.
I will look while you're talking about it.
So we had this like famous older guy. I'd probably say he's in his 70s, mid 70s. And he comes up. Like, we're walking by to try to walk out of the con, and he's, like, in the last bit of Celebrity Row, and his handler was like, hey, wait, come here, and, like, getting our attention. It's like, what? He's like, he wants to know what that's made out of. And we're like, okay, what? The sword, the the helmet was getting what? So he just had, like, a lot of questions, like, what this made out of. So he actually came out from behind his desk area, like, where you have to go and meet him and take photos and whatnot.
I think this was the guy right here from the
Actually, I think you're right.
Stephen Lack. He's from Scanners.
I think you're right. I think that is the guy.
Yeah, I think that's him.
Yeah. So he comes up and he's like, he's like,
you know what? It is him. It is him.
I know. I see his face. Like, I was like, that's him.
Yeah.
So whoever that is, I feel really bad because I'm not like, I'm like the worst.
We're not
as far as like when I say like old horror movies. I don't know who that is, but apparently like that's a famous guy.
Yeah.
So he came out from behind his desk and was like talking to me and was like, oh, can I touch your helmet? Can I see what it's made out of? Oh yeah, sure. You know. And he said, I know I do. He pulled out one of his books that he does, and he does like oil paintings and things like that. And he was asking me specific questions. Did I use a brush? What type of brush? What did I do to like make it look so real and whatnot? So, we get out my build book and show him that I actually made everything. And he was just so incredibly impressed. He said, you know what? I've been putting off this project that I've really wanted to complete, but I just don't feel like I'm confident enough to do that. And he said something like, but because you show...
It's him.
It's him. Yep. because I've seen this project in front of me that you'd created and your competency in it, and it is outstanding. I'm gonna go home after this and I'm gonna go work on that project. And I was like, good for you, bro. I'm glad I inspired you. So it was like a nice conversation or whatever. It was an older gentleman, and I was like, again, like, he probably enjoys the fact, like, some celebrities I think enjoy the fact, like, oh, I don't know who you are, so it's more of like just a casual conversation and not an awestruck, oh my god, I don't know how to talk to you.
I want to know how much it was to meet him.
I don't know. Everybody, like, the minimum to meet people was like $40 or $50.
So it's like we met a celebrity without even paying. They walked up to you. And
well, the other thing too is, like, we could have walked up. Honestly, like,
you really wanted to see John Lovitz.
I did, because I really kind of wanted to meet John Lovitz, and he was talking to his handler or whatever and pointing at me when I was posing. So I was like, oh, that's good enough. I'm like, he sees me.
John Lovitz got mentioned, like, nodded to you.
He nodded to me. I walked in and he was like, oh, look at that, blah, 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 blah.
You did have Georgie's handler run up to you.
Oh, yeah, Georgie from the new It movie.
I mean, he's like 20 now.
Yeah, I'm going to say he's, it would have been nice to, like, go up and talk to him, though.
Yeah, he was right next to us.
But yeah, so, you said you saw her.
Oh, she freaked.
She, like, freaked out.
She was
so his
the really
handler.
excited one when you walked in the doorway.
Oh, she was the one that said that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at her! Like, it was like freaking out.
Mm-hmm. That was.
I didn't realize that was Georgie.
Yeah, I didn't realize it until
at the table.
After we were. I think I said it to you, but at the time you were probably more paid attention to just trying to balance yourself than anything else. That was
probably
going on. Because it was towards the end of the day. It was already like 4:30.
It was difficult, and I was sweating. And the only other thing was that I did lift up. The only celebrity that I kind of wanted to, like, see, just because, like, my parents really enjoyed the movie and I enjoyed the movie as a child, was basically the whole cast of Revenge of the Nerds was there, and they were all, like, lined up. So I did lift my helmet up a little bit, and I was like, oh, hey, I know these people.
You did see what's his name from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, Sons of Anarchy. There was a couple people
of
there.
Actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It's a very, very fun con. Didn't run out of business cards this time, but we are getting very low.
We're getting low. Yeah.
So that's the goal, is to run out and have all those people that are handed them.
I did actually this time, like, have, like, in the last couple days since we've been back, I have seen those people add me.
And talk to you.
Talk to me on social media.
Like, you had the dentist that was in the contest that was right in front of us.
he reached out to me.
Out to you.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, I wish we would have gotten a picture together. Or, congrats, you did an amazing job. Like,
it's like, I'm not taking photos anymore. I am guiding you. I'm not the one.
You did get a lot of recognition, though. You're just like, oh, wow, good job. Like, good for you for helping her out. And
handling
Yeah.
I hate being called
handling
that,
Pyramid Head.
But in the sense, like, you need guidance. I'm like a guide dog.
Pretty much. My seeing eye dog.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
But we got to get into playing and watching, and then we got to get into some other stuff in the show. What else do we have? I'm looking at my notes here from our trip and stuff.
And we could talk about the bad shit that happened.
When?
The hotel.
Oh, we decided not to get stabbed.
We decided not to get stabbed.
I don't know where I'm going to show this photo.
Speaking of, like, going to a horror con, I usually book, like, my hotels and stuff through, like, the booking app. And because I have an account and I get points and whatnot, so why not? So I found we were going down to Indy not for, like, anything else other than just a quick, like, this con. So I was like, all right, well, I got this down the street, like, 10 minutes from where the con was, and it was like $67 for a hotel. And I was like, okay. And it looked like all the pictures made it look decent. So I was like, all right, you know what? It's just one night. It's fine. I don't need to stay in, like, a 4 or 5 star hotel for one night and pay like $1 million. So I booked this place, and Josh and I decided, basically, as we are pulling up to the hotel,
I couldn't.
I was like, this is not the hotel. Like, there's no way. Like, the pictures didn't even, like, I was like, this is not what it looks like. And sure enough, the pictures, kind of a long story short, the pictures online of this hotel, they used a La Quinta or La Quinta Inn.
I gotta show this.
Photos. So a completely different hotel's room and outside photos for this hotel. to make you book it. And this hotel was like a fucking crack house. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. It is the worst, most unsafe I've ever felt getting out of a car and going into a hotel ever in my life.
Now, what I'm showing on screen right here are a couple
It's
of...
the only picture we took!
Now, I don't know what in my brain... Like, I saw this, I was like, I gotta take a photo
You
of
had
that 'cause
nothing
it's
else
funny.
better to do sitting outside in the car
Right,
waiting.
I was guarding the car.
You were guarding the car. If we would have left the car, guarantee someone would have broken into it. It was
absolutely.
that bad.
Absolutely. Our car was too nice to be there. And we don't even have that new of a car. It's like 4 years old.
No, but like I could count that there was at least 4 or 5 cars that had their windows busted open.
Oh, yeah. But what I'm showing here is a bunch of alcohol bottles. They don't have their security covers removed.
Like the thing that you have to like when you go to like pay for them and they at the counter they take
This
them
should have
off.
been my number one red flag.
Number one.
This
Well,
was
actually, no, that was
sitting
actually
right
number
next to
like
me.
to tell you the truth, that was number 3 red flag. Number 1 was the fact that the hotel didn't even look like the hotel that was in the pictures. Was red flag number 1. Number 2 was like the parking lot was just trash.
I can't even
There was
say how
trash
it was.
everywhere. There was
It was
trash.
so
There was
trash.
alcohol bottles,
It was so
cigarettes.
So bad.
Prescription, like I mean, it's like everything you can imagine. There was trash everywhere. I mean, it looked like it looked like crack house, which like something you would see like where you or like something you would see on Crystal and I's murder mystery or true crime documentaries, like where people get killed.
Oh my god, you guys would have been chewing for being in there. Like
why I even got out of the car, I don't know. But I said
you were a brave woman getting out of the car without my pocket knife for one.
I didn't have anything on me. I was like, you know what? It can't be that bad. Maybe it's just the outside that's bad.
It was.
And I walked in, and the lobby was what you would think it was. It was broken down, and it smelled horrible inside. There was like a big sign on the side of like the wall that says no smoking, and it legit smells like weed and cigarettes, like and mold. Like it just smells disgusting inside. So as I'm walking in, there's a small little desk. Somebody's already up at the desk, and there's one person who unfortunately barely speaks English, and they're trying to check in, and there's people coming off the elevator that don't look in. All I'm gonna say is they don't look like they're in good shape. Like not shape as in physically, but like good shape in like mentally. And they keep staring at me, and 2 people got off the elevator and looked at me and got back on the elevator, and I was like, what the hell is that? Yeah. It was like a couple of really...
You did not tell me that.
I can't tell you everything before the podcast.
Oh my god.
And people were just like giving me weird looks, like I was wearing like just like what I'm wearing now, and it was like I was overdressed basically. Unless I like most of the people that I saw, which was about just less than 10 people in the lobby, were wearing looked like really old pajamas that had holes in them. That was like the number one like wardrobe that everybody wore, was like really old unclean pajamas with holes in them.
Wow.
And like either socks or barefoot. And I was like, okay, so I walked up and I was like, hi, I'm here to check in. I have a reservation online. And he checked me in, gave me the keys. It was a very simple like, okay, here you go. And I was like, so I got the keys. Josh at this point in time was out in the foyer. Like, you know, in the entryway. In the entryway where you pull up to check in with the car.
Yeah, I was.
So I go out. He rolls down the window, and I was like, I'm not gonna lie, the place is shady as fuck. But I was like,
did you go to the room yet?
Not yet. I walked outside first, and I said, let me go see where the room is to see if there's an entrance where you can drive and we can get closer to the room. Yeah. So I go outside. I said, I got the keys. I got us checked in. I'm not gonna lie, this place is shady as fuck, but you know, it's one night. I'm just going to go check out the room. I'll be right back. He said, okay. And you said, see if there's an entrance close to our room. And I said, okay, sounds great. So I go, we're on the first floor. I start walking down the hallway, and there's doors that are open to people's hotel rooms, and they just have them wide open. And the people in the rooms look like they've been like either broken into, or like people are just like living there like it looked like a bunch of homeless people.
Okay.
Like it did not look clean. There was no cleaning lady or cleaning man, or like there was nothing clean about this place at all, and it just like everything stunk. So I did the little swipey thing with my card. I opened up the room and shut the door behind me. And the first thing I noticed that was a red flag for the room number one, the biggest red flag, was that the little chain link thing that like the extra security you have, you know, on most hotel room doors, the little chain link thing, that plus the door frame looked like it had been broken off a few times.
Yeah.
The chain link didn't work, and the door frame and where the chain link was busted off on my end, which means someone busted the door
Did you
open.
investigate the bathroom?
I sure did.
How did that look?
The bathroom was absolutely disgusting. The toilet was dirty. The bathtub had black. It looked like specks or mold growing from like the.
This is honestly nauseating.
I really wish I either would have taken video or pictures or had you come in, because I cannot make this sound any worse. Like, I wish I could make it sound worse. It was that bad. It looked like something out of a horror movie. And so the sink, or not the sink, the sink itself was dirty too.
Yeah.
But the only thing that was like new and bright was they had a new orange and white shower curtain.
Wow.
Like, looked like someone from Dollar Tree.
Jeez.
So I said hell no to the tub. I said that was disgusting. And then I go to the bed, and I was like, the bed looks all nice, but again, the room smells like shit. And I was like, let's just see. So I grab the sheets and like that are all tucked in, and I pull them back, and there are 2 or 3 black stains on the sides of the bed, and then one like yellowish stain at the bottom of the bed. And I was like, oh my God, no. The furniture looked like it had been taken off the side of the road. It was all beaten to shit. And the other big thing was there was about at least 3 almost like fist holes in the walls, in like 2 different walls, like somebody had punched or thrown something in the wall.
Yeah.
And then our room was also a split room, so there was also another door that connected our hotel room to someone else's, and the chain link had been broken off of that, and all there was a tiny little lock on there. And I was like, we're gonna die.
God, I could just imagine the worst.
So
Thinking about it.
Yeah, so that was like a hell no. So I had all these red flags, right? And my gut is still going, I don't know why, but my gut is still going, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's totally not fine. So I go out to the car. Josh is still in that little overlay parked in front, and I go, okay, I found it. There's nothing closer for you to park. It's just in and to the right. And I said, I'm just going to start grabbing stuff and taking it in, but I want you to stay in the car while I do it.
That should have been a like.
And then this is when it all changes. I open up the back passenger door behind Josh. You
opened it. You didn't even open it.
I don't even
fully.
think I opened it all the way. I opened it, and I literally went to go grab the first bag to take it in, and I got like the biggest gut punch of my life, going, "What the fuck do you think you are doing?" No. And I let go of the bag, and I shut the door, and I didn't even say it. Josh has got the window rolled up and everything, and I just like going around to the passenger side. I get in the passenger side. Josh looks at me, and I'm all weird, and I'm like, I just need you to drive. And he's like, what? I'm like,
that was so
and I was
weird.
like, I need you to drive. I said, just get out of here. Just go around to the other side of the hotel. He's like, where? I'm like, just go. Just get out of here.
And I was like, oh, is this the entrance over here?
And
like,
I was like, it was like we were trying to find he thought I was trying to find another entrance. And I was like, I could not comprehend everything I was just seeing. And
Your mind was just firing.
It was just firing all these get the fuck out of here signals before you die. And we go around to the back of the hotel, which is not any better than the front of the hotel.
Ghetto.
It is so bad. This is where we saw all the cars with busted out windows and plastic over them, and there's more trash and drugs everywhere. And I'm like, and Josh goes, is that an entrance? And I was like, just shut up. I've got something to say.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something. And I looked at him, and I was like, just park. I'm like, and I'm on my phone on booking, and you're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, we're not staying here.
We're not staying
We're
here.
not
What is what you said
is
to
what
me.
I was like, we're
and
not,
I was like,
you're like,
huh?
what? And I was like, we're not staying here. You're like, what about our reservation? We've already paid
You're
for
like,
it.
just,
And I was like,
nope.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm like, we're not gonna die. I'm sorry. And you're like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, I'm gonna find another hotel. And I clicked on just the first one that I saw that was within a budget that was a bit better. A lot better.
It was like a 4.
It was like a 4.5 star hotel.
We went from a 1 to a 4.5. Like I
and
swear.
it was also like I didn't even know that it was connected to where we needed to be, but like as far as the con, but I was like, it was like fate, and I was like, we're just gonna click this one and book it. Oh look, there's a double queen. Look, I booked it. All right. And he's like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, I'm just gonna kill the guy with kindness up front and say, I'm sorry, but I can't stay here. Can I have a refund?
Instead, you used me as a scapegoat.
I did.
Which is fine.
So I walk up to the front desk and I was like, excuse me, I don't mean to be rude. And I hand him the key, but I'm like, we can't stay here and I need to cancel my reservation. And he was like really confused. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm here with my husband. And I totally just like used Josh as an excuse. I'm like, I'm here with my husband. He doesn't even want to leave the car. This is not what we had booked online. And he's not satisfied. He's really pissed off and I need to cancel this. If I don't get a refund, I'm fine. If I get a refund, I'm fine. I need to cancel this right now. And the guy was like, looked at me and he's like, does he not even want to see the room? And I was like, oh no. I said, oh no, he does not want to see the room. He doesn't want to leave the car. He's in a fit right now. So if you can just cancel my reservation, that would be great. The poor guy. And he was like, he just kind of looked down and looked sad and he was like, okay, I understand. And he's
you
like,
don't realize
and
what they could have been doing.
And he said,
just think about
he
that.
said,
before you feel any remorse, they could have been plotting something.
Oh, you never know. I don't want to
scenes.
know. I don't want to know. I would have honestly, if we had no choice but to stay there, I would have
stayed in the car. I would have slept in the car.
Are you kidding me? It
No.
would have even been like, I don't know what would have been safer.
I would have gone to the Cracker Barrel parking lot and slept in the car. At least that has security cameras.
Security cameras or not, no, that's not going to stop anyone from doing anything
then I'll
these
go to
days.
the
Are you kidding
Walmart
me?
that was down the street.
Either way.
Jack in the Box.
Either way, so
24 hours.
He said, you know what? I'll talk to my manager and I'm just going to give you a full refund. And then he handed me a little receipt and he said, just call this number in the morning and we should be able to get that back to you. And I was like, oh, thank you. Like, I wasn't even expecting a refund. I was like, I don't give a shit if you guys keep my $67. If it's not worth my safety right now and my like cleanliness. Like, I was like, I don't want to take home bugs.
Anything.
Like, I thought about taking home like bed bugs and stuff and whatnot. And I also just didn't feel safe bringing all of my stuff from the car in there and people seeing, yet let alone getting ready in the morning and coming out and then getting like, I would be a center of attention like with all my makeup and stuff on, and I'm like, it's not where I wanted to be.
No.
And I just had so much like people say, listen to your gut. Like your gut is always right. Like my gut was definitely right in this situation. And most of the time, like I listen to my gut and I try to ignore it sometimes. But this one was like, Alex, what in the hell? You are being a dumbass. You should have just drove right past and kept going. But anyway, so the guy gave me a piece of paper. So we get in the car and we start to drive off. Well, we're about halfway to the next hotel. He ends up calling and saying, hey, so I got off the phone with my manager and he is perfectly fine issuing you a full refund. I do need you to come back and I need a signature and blah, blah, blah on a piece of paper. And I was like, sure, why not? So we run back there. I walk in and some lady is up front and is not in a very good mood. Oh yeah.
Wait, what are you talking about?
The lady in front of me when I went back there was not in a good mood, and he was just like, I really need to get her to sign this paper. Would you just like move? And I was like, where do I sign? Like, I just want to get the hell out of here. He's like, sign at the bottom, and I need you to put a brief description of why you need to cancel. And I just wrote, unsatisfied with how clean and safe the place is. I'm sorry. I apologize. Sad face, and signed my name and said goodbye. And then he handed me a receipt that said he issued me a refund. And I was like, that's all I need, goodbye. And then, to make matters even like worse, but it ended up not being worse, is we got to the hotel, our new one, and it's connected directly to the con, which I had no idea. I didn't plan that. I just grabbed the hotel that was around the area. And I was like, so it worked out perfectly. And we go into this new hotel, and I go inside, and she runs my card, and it gets declined. And I was like, why? I've got plenty of money.
We're not
I'm like,
worried about
I'm not
that.
worried about that part. And she was like, well, your $50 deposit went through, but the actual, like, we actually charge you for your room at the same time. That's not going through. And I'm like, it's not. So I'm going on my card, and I was like, oh, there's an alert on my card that says, like, basically, like, it says, hey, you booked a hotel, then you didn't book a hotel, then you booked another hotel, and it flagged it. And
They wanted to make sure
no one stole my card.
Yeah.
So I had to, like, unlock my card and things like that, and then everything went through just fine. So that ended up being fine. We got free parking, all this other stuff. So we go up to our room. For one, what is the first thing about this hotel that you noticed that you loved?
Well, first of all, it looked like the walls were so glossy. It smelled like a shampoo bottle.
It did. It smelled like
it looked like a bathroom, smelled like a bathroom.
it looked
but
like
the-
it
but it
like
was
the
fully-
walls were
but it
like
was fully
glass,
fully
and
carpeted though.
like it just
So-
everything smelled amazing.
Yeah.
So we get into the bath, or we get into our room, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I was just expecting some, like, country inn, like, whatever, but this is, like, I guess a form of, like, a Marriott or whatever. So it's actually, like, a lot. It's like a 4-star hotel.
It was nice.
It was very nice. So I walk in, we take a look at everything, and I hug Josh because he still has, like,
You're
all
in, like,
Josh
happy tears.
all Josh saw was the outside of this
Yeah.
hotel. He didn't see where we were going to be. And I just gave Josh a hug in the bathroom, and I was, like, smiling and laughing and, like, kind of coming down from an anxiety attack. And he's like, what? And I'm like, we almost died.
It could have been bad.
I was like, we almost died. Like, it was not good. I'm like, I really wish he would have come in, but then I would have been scared that the car would have been alone. I was like,
Yeah.
it was not a good time at all.
No.
I was just so happy. I was like, look, our bathroom is spotless.
Look, the toilet looks
I was like, we have free
pristine.
water.
Oh yeah, they give us bottled
We
water.
have hot water. So afterwards, I go online and I'm actually looking up the old hotel, the bad one, and I realized when I was looking at the pictures, that's when I realized, oh my God, they're using pictures from a completely different hotel. Like, the room didn't even look, the setup and everything did not even look the way that it looked online. Everything was different. And I was like, and then I zoomed in on a picture. I was like, that's not even this hotel. It's a La Quinta or La Quinta Inn, which is like a nice hotel. And I'm like, this is fraud. This is like,
Norwood is what it's called.
it's
by
called
the way.
Norwood.
Norwood Inn and Suites.
Yeah.
So be
At least the one in
cautious
Indy.
booking them.
Yeah, the one in Indy is really bad.
Sorry for bashing an entire brand. But
Yeah,
hey,
I don't know about the other
they
ones,
done
but
goofed.
don't stay at that place in Indianapolis. Don't. Hell
Norwood
fucking
Inn and
no.
Suites. No.
But yeah, so anyways, online, so I'm starting to look, and they have AI, 110% AI generated reviews.
Mhm.
5 out of 5 stars, saying it's the most exquisite hotel they've ever been to.
The immaculate
something
walls
and the decoration, like, you could just tell it was all AI generated. And then you actually have to search for the bad reviews, and the bad reviews say things like cockroaches, bed bugs, the smell, the holes, the safety, like all the stuff I was saying is you can find. And if you go to TripAdvisor, all this stuff, you'll find it. It's all right there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so that's we decided that night not to get stabbed.
I said it to our group of friends. I said, "Hell, so we decided not to get stabbed. We're gonna go to a different hotel.
We're gonna go to a different hotel
Because I sent them a photo of that booze. I'm like, wow, we're in the ghetto now. They people tried to steal.
People
some
just
alcohol.
stealing alcohol
You
and then
couldn't-
trying to open it right in front of the
hotel.
hotel,
Yeah.
like it's nothing, and nobody's like. There's no security whatsoever. Apparently, there's not even like a cleaning lady. There's also no hot water. There, like, the
It's
list
bad.
like goes on and on and on when the deeper you go and you look at all of the reviews, even
Yeah.
reviews from like a week ago.
Right.
And I was like, okay, it wasn't just me. But yeah.
So
So anyways, we can move on. That was our trip.
that one was the bad one out of the three. Like that one was the like, woo, we gotta.
I was like, well, you know what? I don't care if we end up like, breaking bank over another hotel. We're
We're Livin.
I'm paying for safety.
Man. We're living. So playing and watching. Last night we played some Black Ops Cold War on your stream, so that was pretty awesome. Pretty excited about having our group of friends all together. You have to reset your chat.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm doing.
And it was pretty fun having everyone together and nostalgic, as Brig was saying. But I didn't realize the game that we were playing is 4 years old, so it's like, oh my gosh, I guess nostalgia is already there. So Black Ops Cold War was a fun time. Fall Guys, I'll be playing on my stream. I've been playing that when I was streaming, but I haven't been streaming for a few weeks now. So, but I will be this week. So I'll be looking forward to that. That's my playing. Alex hasn't really been playing anything because we've been traveling. So just been playing the catch up game of getting our lives back in order after all the travel. As far as watching goes, we have been watching The Boys. We are not on the latest episode yet. We're
as in like the one that was released days ago.
That was released last Thursday.
Mhm.
We didn't have an opportunity to watch that yet because of
We're watching it
all the
tonight.
stuff. We'll be watching it this evening. So our next show will probably both episodes will be out by that time. So we'll have a series or a season review on our next episode. So so far it's kind of got some plot going. You got some information about Homelander and his home and how he was grown up, and
so surprising.
Yeah. You get to see some Sean Bean. He's Huey's dad. He's got a good few scenes.
Sean Penn.
Not Sean Penn. Did I say it wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
You did.
It is Sean Penn.
You did.
For some reason, I was thinking of someone else.
No.
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg.
Thank you.
Simon Pegg. We got it.
Simon Pegg.
Yes.
I'm glad I got it.
We got it. Yeah. He had an amazing
had some good scenes.
Amazing good scene and
intense.
Yeah. He did very good acting.
Yeah, very good acting. You don't really know that from his comedy side that he's actually got a good serious role.
Oh, yeah.
You turned to me and you're like, he's British, right? I'm like, yeah.
I was like, he did a really good, believable American accent.
Yeah,
so.
in the last episode,
you get quite the most out of his character that you've ever seen in all 4 seasons in this
he's
episode.
He's kind of just such a side character.
Well, I mean, he's not supposed to be main, but
no.
he's a necessary character.
Yeah. Yep. The sheep and the Compound V and animals. Woo! That's insane.
I know we can't say too much to spoil things, but I mean, this episode was definitely a holy shit, this is The Boys. What do you expect moment?
Right.
Mouth dropped kind of thing.
We plan on watching the latest episode, and the last episode is next or this week. So, man, can't believe the whole season's going to be done here soon. And then they have one more season after this.
Oh, yeah.
We have. Oh, okay, so how about this? We start House of Dragon after this, then.
Oh yeah, I was already planning that was next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you're still watching Love Island?
Yes, I'm watching Love Island USA, the new season.
Is that a guilty pleasure?
I'm not. It is. I really like seeing the drama, and I just cannot believe. So I watched Love Island UK, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
Back in 2020 or 2019. I think is when I started watching it, and I've only ever watched one season. It's not like Jersey Shore where I was like, I'm gonna watch all of this. The drama is addicting. It's just fun to watch, and how they set things up to cause drama, basically. But compared to just the styles and stuff of girls in their really young 20s, 20 to 25 or whatever, they wear so much fucking makeup.
You like to mention this to me.
This is the first time I think on the show between this other season, which I mean, there's a lot of episodes where the girls wear so much makeup that when they make out with another guy, the guy looks like they ate a powdered donut and it exploded on their face, and it's so obvious and it's disgusting.
That's so weird.
But what's even worse is at the end of the day, I know the girls are trying to look all pretty for the guys, but they're also trying to oh my god, I'm on national television, I have to look amazing, and they spend 2 hours getting ready in the morning, and whatnot. But like, you know what doesn't look good is when you're sweating on camera and all of your foundation and you're crying or you're making out, like it just doesn't look good. And at the end of the night, you get to see them wash it all off and go to bed. And I'm like, these girls look so pretty without makeup on. Like, none of them look ugly.
It's their thing.
Like,
It's
they
their
all
thing.
look beautiful without makeup on. I'm like, do you guys know how fucking clown-like you look with all this makeup? Like, your eyebrows don't look like that naturally. Your lips don't look like that naturally. Your eyeballs don't look like that. Your eyelashes, like, I was like, I get it. Like, I get makeup and stuff because I go on, I stream and I get my makeup and stuff all on, but like, I don't like do that. Like, this is like 2 hours of just packed on, drawing on my eyebrows, like ridiculous stuff. And I was like, oh my God,
Contouring
am I
their
getting
faces,
old?
right? Like that, they have like the whole contour, like highlight and dark tones.
This is
like you're still
this is
learning
like
how to do that.
This is like 10 layers of makeup.
Yeah,
I'm not joking. This is like, and it doesn't match the rest of their body because they spend 5 hours on their face and then they don't do anything else. So it's like they don't match their skin tone.
Don't blend it.
Well, I mean, they blend this. And then it doesn't like, I even showed you like the one chick, it was like, she's like this color, but then she's like this color. And I'm like, how are these guys even attracted to these girls? If I was a guy on the show, I would be like, hey, don't mean any offense by this, but like tomorrow, how about we do a no makeup day? If I'm going to be on the show and looking for the love of my life, I'd like to know what you look like on a daily basis, not wearing hundreds of dollars worth of makeup every fucking day.
Right. You know, makeup is considered to be more of a necessity than a highlight. When you wear makeup, it's like a
I do it for like when I'm on screen or like, but like again, I'm not taking 2 hours. Like before I get on my stream, people that have seen me wear makeup on my stream, that takes me 10 minutes.
10, 15. Tops.
Like 10, 15, depending on if I want to do like something new.
Right.
But like 10 minutes. That's it.
Yeah.
I just like, I don't know. That's like the one thing that's getting me right now. But yeah, I do watch it. It is a guilty pleasure.
Pleasure. You and I have been going back to some 90s nostalgia lately. So we watched Independence Day.
We did.
We watched Twister.
We did.
And then we was like, you know what? We haven't watched Jurassic World in a while. You know, that was nice to rewatch. So a lot of movie
You said
rewatches.
last night, do you want to watch we got to
Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West, and I was like, I'm always down for that one.
Yeah. I wonder if your mom owns that.
Yeah.
Why don't we just go downstairs and look?
110% we own that one.
I'll have to look.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's our playing and watching. We do need to get into the movie club movie and then get into the fan question. It's like we talked a lot.
I knew
about
there
our
was gonna be a
weekend.
lot to talk
There was
about
a lot
today.
to talk about. We haven't even gotten to the other conversation piece, which is the movie, the fan question.
Mm-hmm.
But since we're talking about playing and watching, we're just gonna go ahead and talk about Inside Out 2. This was my choice.
Spoiler-free.
This was my there's gonna be some things we're gonna touch on, like that's part of the movie that you just this is gonna be I'm not gonna like, there isn't a whole lot to crazily spoil. I mean,
If you just want to go ahead and say that this is going to be spoiler chat, then we can
I'm
do
trying
spoiler
to think
chat.
I'm trying to think of one that like, other than touching on, I want to touch on a little bit of the part that you and I were like, oh my God, that was good, and
Well, in order to do that, that is a spoiler.
Well, it's part of the it's part of the review, I guess. Gonna have to do a spoiler chat on this.
So I would say like what time or what like how
we're gonna do a 10-minute chat on
10-minute chat?
Yeah.
Okay.
5 minutes tops.
All
Or
right.
5
So
to 10
anybody
minutes.
watching on YouTube right now, we are going to be doing a spoiler review of Inside Out 2 starting now. 10 minutes.
So a sequel that features Riley entering puberty and experiencing brand new, more complex emotions as a result. As Riley tries to adapt to her teenage years, her old emotions try to adapt to the possibility of being replaced. Now, this just came out, starring Amy Poehler, Maya Hawke, Phyllis Smith, and Kensington Tallman. Fans give this a 96%. Critics give it a 90%. the budget of this movie is sitting at $200 million, and the box office as of last weekend, $1.217 billion.
Hmm.
So it is the
Hmm.
highest grossing movie of the year so
Mhm.
far. I don't know if anything. I mean, do you think Deadpool's going to touch this? That might be
No.
reaching a little bit. It would be surprised if Deadpool touches that number.
I don't think it will, because Inside Out 2 is for kids and adults, so you've got a double audience, and then
Mhm.
you have just adults. So no, I don't think it's going to touch it.
Yeah.
I think it'll make a lot of money, but I don't think it's going to make this.
So what'd you think of this movie?
I loved it.
It was really good.
I
Relatable.
don't think it's as good as the first one.
Whoa.
I think it's pretty damn close. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I don't
It's
know what if I could give Inside Out. I don't remember what I gave it before, but I probably give that one a 9. I give this one an 8.
I would say they're pretty close to the same as far as carbon copy stories.
Well, I mean, like, you can't really, other than changing your feelings and the way that you grow up and whatnot, like, there's not really a whole lot to go off of, like, as far as storyline, like, extravagant storyline. You already know what's going to happen, basically, because it's a girl, she turns 13, she's hitting puberty, feelings are happening.
The only thing that they did not touch on was boys. Like
they did not touch on
that.
boys. They teased it.
They teased it in the first one.
They
didn't
teased
bring
it, but
back.
I thought that's why I gave it a little bit lower score, because I was looking forward to the
Awkwardness.
the awkward, like they did a good job focusing on the awkward, trying to make new friends and going to high school and new places and new people and like that kind of thing, and trying to fit in and find yourself, and you want to be like everybody else but try to be yourself, and they really did do a good job touching on that. But I was really looking forward to there's a boy that I really like and all the feelings that come with that, and seeing the boy side of things. And I don't know, I think that it would be, or they can make an Inside Out 2 or 3 from the boys' perspective.
Yeah.
I think that would be fun too.
They could do a spin-off Inside Out.
Yeah.
Because you know how, like...
Because we get to see inside of the husband and the mom and the dad's head a couple times, and it's funny and relatable.
Very. Yeah.
But I think the emotions that are brought in, which is envy, and anxiety and embarrassment and boredom, I think is all
Ennui.
four. Ennui. Wee.
and they kept on kicking nostalgia out.
Yes, and then there's this cute. Oh my God! There's this.
Let me look up nostalgia.
Cute, we don't have a lot of time. There's this cute little old lady nostalgia character named Nostalgia who keeps like coming out of her like she. You're not supposed to be nostalgic until like your 20s, 30s. Is when you start to feel nostalgic generally. And this girl's only 13, so every once in a while they'll mention something, and the nostalgia lady, this old lady, will come out of this little door, and she's like, remember that time when they're like, no, Nostalgia, you're about like 10 years too early, you need to go back to bed, honey. And push her back, and she's like the cutest little thing. Yes, her. Oh my God, I thought that she's such a cute character. I think my favorite character besides her though is gonna be Embarrassment. Embarrassment was a very good character too, and
Nostalgia.
they did a very good job with all of the characters.
She's so funny.
She was so adorable. My goodness. She had such a small part, but she's very adorable. I loved her. They did a very, very, very good job with explaining feelings. Like, this is a very good movie to take your 13-year-old daughter, 14 or 15-year-old daughter to, or even 12.
Yeah.
When you have all these feelings inside and you don't know how to, like, rectify them, how to all this stuff is happening, and they make it seem like it happens overnight, and sometimes like it feels like it does. Like, I remember the very first time sitting on my bed and my mom comes in and I'm crying my eyes out for no fucking reason right here in this room, and she just came in and she started laughing at me, and I was like, what? And she was like, what's wrong? And I was like, I don't know. And I just start, and I'm just crying for no reason. But then I start laughing because she's laughing at me. And then I start thinking, oh my God, now she's laughing at me because I'm crying and I don't know what's going on. And then, like, it's all these different hormones hitting you. You don't know what's going on. And then you stink and you get acne and there's hair growing in places. And like,
her acne was showing up.
I liked how they did that. How they actually put pimples on her and stuff. I was like,
the braces.
and the braces, and I was like, that was me.
You're
That
like,
was me at 13.
Did you break a band like that?
Oh yeah. I broke my rubber bands. Yes.
Oh,
But anyways,
man.
I think the movie was great. The one thing that Josh and I are going to talk about real quick before our time is up
we
is
got plenty of time.
the
We
at
still
the
got
very
5
end.
minutes. We're only halfway.
This whole entire movie is very much centered on a certain emotion called anxiety that literally takes over Joy's the feeling Joy, or the character Joy takes over Joy as the main feeling or emotion.
Yeah.
And basically saying there's not enough room for you in her there's not enough joy in your life right now, or in her life. She doesn't need you. She needs anxiety to protect her. But it shows how anxiety can protect you,
Yeah.
but how anxiety can also be overbearing and mess things up.
Because they want to control everything, because they think of all the
Worst case
outcomes.
scenarios and outcomes, and if we do this, then this won't happen. If we do this, this will happen. Then this and this and this, and it's a roller coaster. Well, then
this is just phase
and
1.
then when things do happen the way that you thought they were going to happen, and you thought it was going to be a good thing, and it turns out to be the worst case scenario, and you have to learn from it, is basically what happens in the movie. And Riley ends up having an anxiety attack, and they show you physically and mentally what is going on.
So well.
They do a very good job at showing what an anxiety attack is like. And especially for a 13-year-old, and what she's thinking and what the emotion's doing, and how it can't like get out of it, and none of the other emotions can control it, and like
even anxiety couldn't control it.
Even anxiety couldn't control
see, like,
itself.
She tried to dive through anxiety to take her off the console, and she was even a phase of herself.
Yeah, she was like, I can't.
Like she, and then she was like stuck in that.
And then eventually, how she gets out of the anxiety attack is Joy says, "It's time for you to let Riley go." And it's just like that feeling that you get when you are out of your anxiety attack finally, and it's this relief. And then Joy grabs the console and starts bringing all these positive and joyful things back that make you happy and get you out of the panic, or not the panic, but like the anxiety attack. And they did a really, really, really good job with it.
So
Sadness is also one of my favorite characters. I love
when
Sadness.
Riley is trying to come down from her anxiety attack, she uses a technique known as grounding.
She does.
So what you do is you ground yourself in your physical reality. This is where you focus on your senses, things you can touch, hear, smell, etc., to help reset your mind and calm down. She feels the bench she's sitting on and listens to the puck hit the ice. Many people use this to help come back from or even prevent anxiety attacks. So I didn't realize the sounds and stuff was happening after that was like calming, but they were.
Yeah, it's what reminded her about things, and it brought her back. And
they did a good job doing that. Although the movie introduces new emotions like anxiety, embarrassment, ennui, and envy, and briefly nostalgia, the minds of Riley's parents still being controlled by joy, sadness, fear, disgust, and anger implies that as Riley gets older, the new emotions will have less or no importance, though anxiety is briefly shown reappearing in both mom and dad.
Yeah.
But does not appear to be prominent, which means that they have their anxiety under control.
Yes.
So
these are just new emotions that you don't know how to control, that you're learning. Yeah. So she bottles up her main emotions.
Yeah.
She has suppressed her emotions, which are funny. I mean, is funny. There's also another part where they're put in the back of her brain when they're suppressed, and they're put in this like emotion jail along with this guy.
Oh, let me show. His name is Lance /Bane, and he is supposed to represent Cloud from Final Fantasy.
I knew it. I fucking knew it. I was like, that's Final Fantasy, isn't it? But she like has this huge crush, but he's
a game. He's a game.
His game mechanic, instead of like he rolls into a ball to hit somebody like Yoshi's on Super Smash Brothers, but not as powerful.
Yeah.
But
I gotta show one thing here.
The other thing is like the deep dark secret guy.
Yeah, that one was.
He's cool. Like, and
that was anticlimactic.
At the very end, she's like, all right, big guy, what's the big dark secret? He's like, oh, that time I like burnt a hole in the rug, and she's like, oh, really? I thought you were gonna talk about that time we peed in the pool. And he was like, oh, and like runs back.
So what's Sadness holding here?
Binoculars.
She's holding Lenny.
Oh, she is
From Toy Story.
From Toy Story.
That's a
that's an Easter egg.
There's a lot of other Easter eggs, like the truck and everything is on is in origami form and next to Joy's bed. We also see Bing Bong as well.
Oh.
A photo of him.
So I don't this so the first Inside Out like got me teary-eyed and made me cry. This one more made me like go, they did a good job with that one, but it wasn't enough to grab a tear. Like I'm sure it could grab tears from other people, but like
Did
I
for
don't know.
me.
I was a pretty like
It did.
I was a shell. I was a hard shell for this one. I even grabbed. This is the first time I actually prepared and grabbed a bunch of like tissue from the bathroom and took it into the. I was like, oh great, this one's gonna be focused on the anxiety, and I'm gonna get all emotional. But no, I don't. It definitely was like I related quite a bit to Riley growing up and trying to fit in with the crowd, but the thing is, I was actually never accepted into the crowd. So I was like, wow, she got the good ending.
People are a little more accepting, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I will say that this one I think was more relatable to me because of anxiety as opposed to just moving and fitting in, because I just got over that after high school.
Yeah.
Just got tired of it. But this
I
one,
think overall it's a very good movie.
very good. I think Pixar's onto something here with Inside Out. Like I think if they make a third one about like high school graduation,
They need to do high school.
like
is what they
that's
need
gonna
to
have to
do.
be next, and it's gotta have to be something about love. It has to.
It has to be
There's
like
nowhere else you can
freshman
go
year,
with her- with her-
basically.
No, I would say it could be junior, senior. It could even be around like they're gonna skip a few years, I think, because they did last. This one actually skipped 2 years, although it took 9 years.
But I don't
to
know
get a
how they're
sequel.
gonna like keep it a kids movie if you get 2 into your teen years.
Well, they did with Toy Story 3. Andy giving up his toys.
Yeah, but that's mainly centered around the toys. It's not centered
It
around
was still-
Andy's emotions.
Did you still cry?
I did.
Why? He was giving up his toys at the end, right?
Because he was giving up his memories
yeah.
and growing up.
There is a couple of comments on our YouTube. One from Brian that says, "I feel like society makes nostalgia arrive earlier than we are used to seeing it." Very, very true.
Yeah.
We people are always looking back at things. Like Brig last night was like, "Oh man, I'm so nostalgic for this game." I was like, "It feels like we just always like kept this game on our like back burner, so it was never like a Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War didn't feel nostalgic." But then I was like, wow, we actually haven't had a night like that in a while, where everybody was like full lobby together and everything in good spirits, and it was a fun time. Nostalgia is what it is, and you can make it whenever you want it, but fortunately they had nostalgia for a kid in kid form. That remember when we did this, remember when we just came into the brain or the mind or the control center, and that was just I was lolling. I think it portrayed everything without the complexity of love being added very well. I hope Inside Out 3 does this, but I'm gonna give this movie a 9.
I give it an 8.
What's the next movie, Alex?
St. Elmo's Fire.
St. Elmo's Fire.
Yeah.
Why?
Because during 4th of July lunch, my mother and the rest of
Why that one out of all of them?
I don't know. That's just what came to my mind. At the lunch table, my mom and her brothers and her friend, who are all the Gen X, right?
Yeah.
Gen Xers.
God, millennials.
Millennials.
God, what a joke.
So Gen Xers were talking about the Brat Pack.
Mhm.
And that being centered around like Molly Ringwald and basically everybody out of like the Breakfast Club. So there's just like some 80s movies that they were naming off, and like, oh, of course this and this and this and this and this movie, and I was like, actually, Mom, I've actually never seen this movie. And she was like, you're kidding me. And I was like, nope. And she named off 2, which was St. Elmo's Fire. Yes, I've actually, this is a Brett moment for me. I have 80s parents, or okay, not 80s, but grew up in the 80s kind of thing.
It's okay, I didn't either.
And I have never seen St. Elmo's Fire, and I've never seen 16 Candles. Yes, okay. I know. I've heard them from a million different people. They're
I haven't either. It's
boom movies, and like they're amazing. And
That is all speculative of their generation.
is.
So
It
you got to
is.
stop
But the thing
putting
is
things on
like,
pedestals of what they already
I
do.
haven't found one of the movies that I've been shown from their generation that I'm like, I didn't like it. I love the
I have.
Breakfast Club. I love
And I voiced them
Say
too.
Anything. I love
What's that Bruce Willis movie you think is hilarious? Death Becomes Her?
Death Becomes Her. But that's not
That's
like
that's
that's
one
not
of
the same
those-
category, but it's like, you know.
You think that's hilarious, but I think it's a Gen X movie.
But
It's
yeah.
not funny.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that this movie we'll I think we might have
I'm gonna hold this one up to a pedestal, and if it's not,
I'm
there,
going to, but like at the same time, like I don't know if it'll hold up. I don't even know who's in
probably
it.
won't.
I don't know anything about the movie. I
Rob
can't tell
Lowe,
you.
Emilio Estevez, Judd Nelson, Demi Moore. That's who's in the movie. A group of recent college graduates embark on a series of misadventures in the real world. And then it talks about all the characters. They all struggle with adulthood.
Okay, so
is
it's a
pretty much-
coming of age teenager
yeah.
movie.
The Rotten Tomatoes are they're pretty mediocre. You could have chose a better one, I'm sure.
That was honestly like I've heard the movie title being referenced in other movies and songs, and I was like, you know what? That's what we're gonna watch. We're gonna watch St. Elmo's Fire.
But the thing is, John Hughes did not direct St. Elmo's Fire there, chat. It was Joel Schumacher. So, not John Hughes. Wrote and directed Joel Schumacher. So, interesting
We've got
concept.
a couple of people in chat talking about it. At least that movie has a great soundtrack. Great soundtrack. Okay, so apparently the movie's got a great soundtrack. Great
Again,
film.
subjective.
Just watched it. If I had to choose between the two, 16 Candles would be better choice in my opinion. Well, we'll have to save that one for another time. Side note, Alex, why does your mug look like a cat's water bowl? You know, the one that...
What?
That's just the way that it looks because of the angle, I guess.
Oh, cat's water bowl.
Yeah.
Your cup.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know. We'll see if this movie is holds up to people who have not seen it, that have grown up in the 80s and 90s, that have seen the movie styles and types.
What did 16 Candles get on Rotten Tomatoes?
I was looking up St. Elmo's Fire, but we'll look up 16.
I don't even know what that one's about either. My guess is 16 Candles is probably about somebody turning 16.
That got a lot higher ratings, 81 and 85%, as opposed to a 47, I think.
Maybe we should watch that one then.
That's up to you. St. Elmo's Fire, 42% and 67%, so it's a lot.
All right.
Less good.
What should we watch between one or two? Well, I mean, I guess Brian's gonna say 16 Candles,
Really?
and then Dad, what do you want
Why
to
is
say?
that?
If you say 16 Candles, that'll make it even, and then we'll just watch 16 Candles. I mean, eventually I'm gonna watch St. Elmo's Fire, but for the movie review, what review do you want to hear me review next week?
That's Molly Ringwald, Anthony Michael
Okay,
Hall.
well then we're doing 16 Candles. That's 16 Candles.
Alright.
Okay, we're watching 16 Candles for the same exact freaking reason.
With the occasion
Never
all,
seen it. It's an 80s movie.
with the occasion all but overshadowed by her sister's upcoming wedding, angst-ridden Samantha faces her 16th birthday with typical adolescent dread. Samantha pines for studly older boy Jake, but worries that her but worries about that her chastity will be a turnoff for the popular senior. He's a senior, so it's
Okay.
like she's a
She's a
sophomore going for a senior. Okay.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Samantha must constantly rebuff the affections of nerdy Ted, the only boy in the school, unfortunately, who seems to take an interest in her. Okay, so
Okay,
she's
this
got
actually
like
sounds like more
this
interesting
sounds
than
like
the
a
other
she's
one.
all that.
Yeah, this sounds like an older She's All That kind of
Like where she's all
movie.
that took interest stuff from, you know.
What movie haven't you seen? We're talking about 16 Candles and Saint Elmo's Fire.
Both of them.
So we will be watching. We changed it, just popular opinion about
16 Candles.
which one we're gonna watch. We're gonna change it from watching Saint Elmo's Fire to 16 Candles. We've both never seen either movie, which I know is mind blowing with our age, but that's just how it is.
We're still alive. We gotta get to the fan question.
Okay.
This one is a doozy. This one has actually gained a lot of popularity on all of our social media, so we appreciate those.
This will be a conversation.
We appreciate everyone who has commented on this one. This means a lot because it's nostalgic as well. Well, you can't really see I guess. Well, whatever. At what age did you first experience the internet, and do you recall the experience? So you and I, being millennials,
I'm 35.
Grown from
You're almost 37.
Late 80s, early 90s. That's when we came into this world knowing what we know now.
Yeah.
The internet was around just around the same time we were born. So it's when it was really starting to gain popularity. Not everybody had a home computer, but it was. Oops, sorry. I gotta move.
You keep
I'm
shoving
trying to move.
my fucking. What are you doing?
I'm trying to move this way.
Okay.
There.
Anyways,
the
internet boomed.
So the internet boomed within our
bloomed.
generation.
Sorry, not boomed. Bloomed.
It bloomed and boomed within our generation.
Within our generation, yes.
We had a lot of we were ordering DVDs by mail. Now that's no longer a thing. Netflix stopped doing that. That was a big deal.
Yeah, but we're talking or way earlier than that.
And even earlier than that, we're talking about our first experiences now. So I have small snippets of memory of the first time I was on the internet. And my first time was playing Warcraft 2 online versus somebody else on a dial-up 56K modem. It might have been a different modem, but
wait, you with all these numbers, I don't even know what type of modem, whatnot.
Well, 56K came out in 97.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So, or it was made modern in 97. So that's what I'm remembering. I remember we got a new computer around that time, around 97, because we had Windows 98 or 95 at the time. I don't remember which one. But that was my first experience.
Do you remember when Windows 98 came out? It was such an upgrade
from 95.
Oh
my god!
It was colorful and
the sound.
Bright and
oh my gosh! Do you remember the intro sound?
Yeah.
The turning it on, the boom, and then it had the piano.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Dun, dun.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah.
We'll have to play those again. I mean, we've actually listened to those all the Windows startups and stuff like that before.
You got mail.
No, I did not. I did not have AOL actually like that, like you did. So your experience with the internet is going to be a little more probably tame than mine. You didn't do online gaming until a lot later, right?
Oh, I didn't do any online gaming.
So my first experience.
All right, when I think of online gaming, I think about playing online with other people.
Yeah.
I did online gaming. I can't tell you what game it was. Excuse me, I don't know where that came from. I don't know. I'm thinking about being long ago, and it's making me tired.
Okay.
I don't know what game it was, but I was at my grandma's house, and it has something to do with painting and coloring, and it was a very slow moving.
Probably one of those Nickelodeon.
No, not Nickelodeon. It was some you do little activities and click this, click that, and then you move to the next screen.
Okay.
And it takes forever.
Mine was I actually played against one of my brother's friends, and we just played some Warcraft 2, and then I played online against some other people. I don't know what we used. It might have been Napster. I don't know if it was available at the time, but I did have the NWO Wolfpack intro song downloaded. I remember having that as one of my first experiences. So my brother, he's into IT right now. So just to give you guys some perspective as to what I was introduced to, my brother understood networking and all this stuff like nothing else. Like it could be his second job. It's his hobby. He loves it to that extent. So like that's his main thing is network cable organization and all this like insider like I can't even explain to you what he knows by his IT knowledge, but he knew how to get on the internet a lot sooner, and he was the one that introduced my family to all that stuff. He introduced my family to DSL. So that was like we moved from dial-up to that so quickly because of his knowledge of the internet. So due to his knowledge of it, I was introduced to things a lot more simpler and faster. So maybe that's
you remember
how
one of the first major websites that you went to as a kid?
Ask Jeeves.
Besides Ask Jeeves. That was like 4th or 5th grade for me, I think.
I mean, as an adolescent boy, you're going to go to the adult websites that you shouldn't be going to. But I don't remember them. I remember that being a thing, but that was a lot later on in life. But like when I was like 8 or 9.
Disney.com.
I did go to like
Was
Lego.
like,
Lego.com.
That was the very first website, and probably the earliest memory I remember of the internet was being at my grandma and grandpa's house.
Mm-hmm.
The one that you didn't go to, the one before this house.
Yeah.
And my mom had shown us it's like Disney.com. I'm pretty sure it's got to be Disney.com, but it took forever for it to load. But when it loaded, you're like, oh, this is cool, and it had animations on the screen, and I don't remember what all we looked at, but it was just like an interactive website, and I didn't understand what it was or what we were looking at or what we were doing.
Yeah.
That was also at the time where I saw Mom typing over here and looking at the screen.
My brother showed
and
that,
and I remembered going,
what?
How are you typing and not looking at what you're doing?
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, when you get older, you'll learn how to do that.
Oh, we do.
So it was like at the same time I was introduced to the internet, was also introduced to the learning how to type without looking and being so impressed with it.
We got introduced to so many things at once. The mouse, the keyboard, like all that stuff.
So,
you know what the mouse was not? It wasn't typical for a computer until much later. Like
I always remember having a
mouse.
I
always remember having a mouse too.
Yeah.
So, but like
the cool thing that my mom still has that came out was like before the like after the typical
mouse is stupid.
I know.
No,
I hate it.
don't,
I hate it. But when it first came out, it was awesome.
No, it wasn't.
When it first came out, it was
Lies.
awesome. It was all aesthetic. It ergonomically,
as an artist, I would not be able to
it's
use that.
Horrible. But I'm talking about like the standard 2-clicker mouse, like left and right click. So that was like early 90s, just like standard shit. Well, then like towards like the 1999 2000, my mom got like this. You don't move the actual mouse, you just move a roller ball, like this huge ass red rolling ball in the middle to scroll and roll around, and then the clickers are like on the side of the mouse. You don't actually move your hand at all. So I thought that was cool, but actually being an adult now and she uses the same fucking mouse, it's really annoying. But yeah, anyways, there's that. But like as far as like the beginnings of stuff, I do remember getting my first AOL screen name and email address, and honestly, like as a kid, you don't really, I had all of the restrictions and stuff because the internet's not a very safe place. So I was able to get emails from like Disney. I remember going to like I remember Bratz, the Brat Girls being like really big, and you could go to like
that
Bratz,
was the Barbie knockoff.
Yeah, so you could go to like Bratz.com and you can like dress them and things like that. Like that was a thing I thought was cool. Like you try on different outfits and dye their hair different colors and things like that. I remember that. Barbie.com was another one that was really big. And the only other big thing I remember about being on the internet for the first time is that for Christmas, my dad might remember this, we got this encyclopedia of the internet book.
Weird.
And it was like, it looked like as big as a huge ass phone book.
And what did it entail?
Was yellow, and it just had thousands of pages. I can't say thousands, maybe hundreds of pages of thousands of websites you can go to. And it was categorized from like education to fun and games and learning and whatnot. But like, that's how you knew what websites were out there. It wasn't just it was before Googling something was a thing. It was how do you find things on the internet? like there wasn't really a how do you find things. It's you had to hear from another person, have you seen this website?
Right.
There wasn't just a big search bar where you just typed in find a website. Like that's not how it worked. You had if you had AOL, you had AOL search bar. Like that's, and if it wasn't on AOL, then you didn't find it. You had to actually go to a different web source and find a website and type in the full name and like the full address to type it in. So it wasn't the way that it was now, or the way that it is now.
Right.
And it was extremely freaking slow.
We got some comments on Discord. So we appreciate everyone who's given us their comments as far as like their first experience on the internet. So if you haven't given us yours and you're watching on YouTube, you can give us that now. But I do see a few here in chat on the Discord chat, and also we have some on Twitter, Facebook, all of our social medias. People are all over the place.
How old were you?
About 8.
I think about 7 or 8 was probably the first time I was introduced to
about 97.
97 sounds about right.
Yeah,
because I remember Windows 95, and there was no internet with Windows 95.
There was dial-up.
Not for me.
Dial-up existed before.
I know, but like I started using the internet on Windows 98. Like that's what I remember is Windows 98. So it had to have been at least 98.
I couldn't tell you I couldn't tell you if it was 95 or 98. But I do
That's
know.
Probably when it had to have been 98.
I could tell you where I was though. I was living in the city of New Ulm, so I was like at least between the age of.
I remember when we got it in our house for the first time.
8 and 12. So
it was like a big deal. We didn't have a spot to put the computer.
You guys were on AOL though.
Yeah, but we also like it was a big deal because we didn't have a spot to put the computer. We didn't have a computer desk at first. The dining room table downstairs. For the longest time until we got an actual computer desk to put the computer and a printer we just set it on the dining room table.
I remember seeing that in your videos.
Yeah, in the home videos.
In the
home
apartment?
videos. Yeah, it just sat on the dining room table.
Yeah, in the dining room.
In the dining room, next to the kitchen. We didn't have like our actual computer desk yet. And then the printers that we did have, were the size of
they were huge.
They were like this big.
Yeah. We got one from Arrow. He said, I was in the 5th grade, possibly around 10 or 11 years old.
Yeah, for him, that was like how old or what year?
I was stuck on a reading assignment to prepare for a quiz. I was Googling a question from the study guide, and it gave me the answers to the whole study guide. Yes, Alex, I know I'm 24. That's what he said.
He knew it. He knew I was going to say that. He knew it. That's hilarious.
We got one from Brig, about 8 years old. So, yeah, that's about when I was. Used a 2400 baud modem with Prodigy. I don't know what any of that
I don't know what
means.
any of this, all the speculations are.
The specs.
Or spec, whatever you call
Good old dial-up speeds was horrible, but hey, we got our email and IRC chat rooms. I don't know what IRC is.
In-room chat. I don't know. I mean, I remember doing chat rooms.
Yeah,
but chat rooms weren't until
I
was in like
chat rooms like you
I
guys
was in
did.
5th and 6th grade by the time I was allowed into a chat room, and even the chat rooms I was in were again like Disney based or Nickelodeon based.
God,
or like
I
had like
you didn't even know it.
I had like restrictions and stuff, like I couldn't go into like adult or 18 or whatever I couldn't even go into like PG-13 chats. It was all just like kids getting on, and I would just sit there and watch the chat like as entertainment.
Continuing from the comment, had to track our internet time with the Prodigy discs on a ledger, so we knew how much time we had used in our plan.
Oh, yeah.
Got one from Sassy. I honestly don't know. I remember we had dial-up for forever at home. I also remember the school internet being worse than what we had at home. So
I don't remember using the internet at school until oh wow, I don't think we used the internet until I don't even think we used it in 6th. I think it was 7th grade before I even used the internet at a school, at least
5th, 6th maybe,
because I can't think of. I mean, we had a laptop room.
We had
like in
lab. But
in
we were
fifth,
all using
in
Word.
5th grade.
And,
But yeah,
like,
we were using
we
Word.
weren't going.
We weren't on the internet. We were just
No.
using like learning how to type.
Yeah.
We weren't actually learning how to use a computer. It wasn't using the internet. We were trying to learn how to like type an essay.
Yeah. It
So
wasn't anything
to actually
else.
go online and use it at school, man, now I don't even think it was 6th or 7th or 8th.
I couldn't tell you. I know 9th grade. I know for sure.
High school for sure. High school for sure. But even so, like you weren't really on the
I
internet.
did it in middle school because I remember doing stuff for the Olympics. Because we had to do.
We
like,
were allowed
we
to
did,
go
like, a
to
budget of
the
Olympics.
library to use like there were 3 computers connected to the internet, and you could do research in high school. But that was it. Other than that, like I don't actually remember using the internet in school.
I could not tell you when.
I don't think it was like allowed.
We got a comment on Twitter from or X for your new gens. From Stew World Order Productions. They said I would have been 13 to 14 between 1992 and 1994 or thereabouts. All I knew was AOL chat rooms. I thought that was the entire internet. I mean,
when I think of the internet back then, I think of AOL instant messaging and chat rooms and email. Like that's what I think of when people would say, "Oh, have you been on the World Wide Web?" Or have you been on the internet? Do you use the internet? Or it was, do you have AOL? No, I have
MSN.
I have MSN
Hotmail.
or Hotmail or Yahoo or something like that.
ICQ.
It was like, oh, what program are you on?
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the thing.
What chat room do
what
you
chat
go
room
into?
do you use?
Like, yeah, and eventually for you and me.
What's your screen name?
You and I, we used Yahoo, AOL, MSN.
If you were popular, if you were on MSN,
I was on MSN all the time.
You
had
were,
Hotmail.
yeah. MSN was like the really cool
Because you could
chat
customize
room.
so
Because you could
much.
customize
You
things
could
that
use
looked
2 different
cool.
chat rooms too.
AOL was like plain Jane boring shit.
Yeah, sorry, Microsoft.
It was.
knew
It
where
was.
at.
And then MSN, you could just have in the background. You hear that door open, like, like, oh, somebody's here. Somebody's online.
So you sent this to my family.
I did.
And there's some responses from my sisters and my mom, but my mom's answer was incorrect. So
okay.
I have to redact that. My sister Steph says, I was 14. We had to plan a trip and hotel using the internet, and it was super confusing to me. So you and I, nowadays, the ease of what you have done of a trip booking,
Right.
so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine our parents.
I don't.
They would just stayed there.
They would have just stayed there.
Yeah, awful.
Or they would have. No, I don't think so. They probably would have gone to a gas station
or left and found
directions for
Yeah.
another place. Yeah.
Got one from my sister Sarah. Oh gosh, I remember creating my email address in 3rd grade, and I made it for her. And trying to navigate that. Other than that, I'm not so sure. Yeah, I helped her make her email address.
2K1. 2001 was when I got my. That's what's in my
Baby girl 2K.
Yes, is in my
I'm
email
not gonna
address.
give out your email address.
Because I still use my AOL address. But 2K1 was at the was the.
Yeah, you got
so,
it right around when I
so
thought you had that.
2001 is when I got my first email address.
And I thought you having like that number, your 2K1 or whatever, is like, oh, she's all like millennial and hot shit.
Because I had that in my screen name.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but my AOL screen name was Baby Girl, and it had a 2K1 in it.
Yeah. I was like, oh, she's all like millennial.
Before I was Cute Kitty, I was Baby Girl.
That was almost
all over my folders.
That was
like that's what I was
stuck
known
with.
as.
That was almost what you stuck with. You changed.
But then,
it.
like, I got out of it because there was my name started to get, or that nickname that I had started to go on clothes, and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Like it was on like when you were the girls that had like the
butt pants.
The butt pants, and
Yeah.
you would have like the names on the butt. Like Baby Girl was one, and I'm like, I just didn't like that it was sexualized, so I stopped calling myself Baby Girl.
Yeah. And my sister and my nephew are arguing as to when he started
It was with a
using
U,
the
by the
internet.
way.
What?
My screen name was not with a U, but my name was spelled with a U.
Yes. My nephew says that he doesn't know what age, and my sister's like telling him, you started on day one. Like
Yes.
we had YouTube up for you right away. So It's like that's completely like nulled for a kid.
I mean,
these
he's
days.
almost 19.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he grew up on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy. I got one from my my brother-in-law Craig. He said probably junior year of high school. Watch video clips is what he said.
Mm-hmm.
So that was his first time. You got some social
I
media?
do. I have some on Instagram here. So we have the return of the Fickle Fanboy podcast.
Ooh, shout out to those guys.
I'm sure I experienced the World Wide Web before this, but my earliest memory of the internet is actually of chat rooms on AOL Online.
That is exactly what everybody remembers the chat rooms. Like,
yes, it's all about the chat rooms.
It's all about the chat rooms,
Jersey
baby.
Comic Crew podcast.
Shout out to those guys.
Wow, yes, I think I was 10 or 11 and was at the golden age of AIM, so AIM or AOL Instant Message and fandom websites.
Yeah. That's awesome. Like, I didn't know I was introduced to like fandom websites when I was in middle school. Like I'd go to like Adult Swim and find out like, oh, all this anime has like this huge fan base. And I wasn't like into it at the time, but my friend was showing off all these like different websites of like Cartoon Network and like anime stuff, and I wasn't really into that.
Then we've got Terrible Terror podcast.
Shout out to them.
First experience the internet at 15 at a friend's place. Of course, the first thing he did was show us. What is that porn?
What?
What does this stand for?
ASCII. I have no idea.
I don't know. It's a type of porn.
Is that a file type?
Some type of porn, an extremely small pixelated porn. I remember thinking, that blurry thing's a vagina? Question mark.
Do you remember when we watched the music videos around like the early 2000s
Yeah.
and they were pixelated?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm like, just all the blurriness of low quality.
Right? No, that's hilarious.
That's hilarious. That's funny.
Okay, I had some text messages too.
Oh, you went all over the place.
I did.
Oh, ASCII art. It's making images with characters, letters, numbers, and punctuation.
Really?
That?
And you made a vagina out of it?
That out of code? What?
It's code porn?
Code porn? What?
That's hilarious.
That's a whole nother thing.
Oh, wow. Brian, this is a side of you.
I never knew that was a thing.
Knew.
I mean, I'm surprised that
code porn.
I'm surprised
We
that
know what to get you for your Christmas present.
what is that band OK Go? Don't they do like those weird experimental like videos they haven't used, like something like that?
Oh. Okay, so my brother says, Dad getting the first computer for the house. It came with like AOL 3.0 or 4.0 or something like that. That's when we started doing chat rooms and stuff and letting us play games like Minesweeper and Solitaire, which I mean those aren't on the internet, but like he remembers our first computer. And then he said our uncle had a computer too, and he showed us the Ooga Chaka baby dancing baby clip for the first time. And I was like, oh, I do remember that. I remember like that being like this big thing, the Ooga Chaka baby dancing thing.
I remember the first thing my dad showed me on the internet, and it was the
boobs.
It was the mad cow disease.
Really?
The moo.
Oh, that
moo moo, and it was like an email he got or something. It was like the mooing cow or whatever. I remember that. Like those weird. Then of course the hamster dance.
Yes, that one. Yeah.
You just don't want to ever think about that.
Right. No, the vag was an actual video, but it was
60 by 60.
Hella blurry. You remember that vagina, don't you, though?
Just ingrained in your brain. You'll never forget.
Brian's first vagina.
I don't think... Oh, he sent me a text.
Did he send it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay. All right.
Text art.
Yeah, text. Okay. Yeah, those are the things that people would put in the chat rooms, remember? They would try to make a picture
penis.
before a big one before, and then people would like be typing, or they'd say, "All right, no, stop," because I'm trying to make a picture, and it would be like, yeah, I remember that now. Yeah, that's funny shit.
They
Okay,
made videos out of that.
I remember that. So we've got one from my my grandmother, my dad's mom.
Now this one made you
So I accidentally read like the first few lines accidentally before the show, so I know kind of what it's about, but I closed the text and I was like, damn it, I can't. I just know that she's gonna have the best answer. So okay, so I asked Grandma, what age did you first experience the internet, and do you recall the experience? And she said, ha, one of my worst memories is how she starts this text. We had a class at work to teach us how to use a computer. None of us had any real experience with one. I typed in something completely innocent in the search bar and managed to bring up a lot of porn sites. The instructor thought it was hilarious. It was sure the hit of the class, and then he said to me, "You must have one of these things at home." Haha, too funny. We all laughed about it for years.
What did she search?
I said, "What?" I didn't ask her.
What did she search? Did you answer this one already on Facebook?
I didn't. I did not answer Facebook.
Got one from Jeff. On Facebook, he said 1997 February. I had an AOL install disc that I used to sign in, and got to hear the iconic dial-up sound for the first time. That was so loud. So when you were trying to sneak onto the computer, there was no sneaking onto a computer.
Oh hell no! Because it's not something you can turn the volume down on. It's the actual like. It's not it's not noise like from your computer. It's the actual like modem making noise.
Yeah.
It's not something you go, "Oh my god, this is loud. Let me turn the volume down on the computer." That's not how it works.
But the thing is, my family slept through it all the time, so it didn't even matter.
Oh no, we knew every time anybody
you and
got
I
on.
would get on in the morning to talk to each other before school. I had dial-up at the time before we had the DSL installed in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to sneak onto my computer on that breakfast bar by the kitchen.
Oh really?
That's where we had the computer.
Oh wow.
By the patio.
Everybody could hear that.
I was lucky they didn't. Then I snuck over to my dad's office across the street.
You see him tucked in.
He's really tucked in like a person.
He's cute.
It's adorable. So that was a really good fan question. We appreciate everyone who have left their comments on the social media, YouTube, all that kind of good stuff. You guys are the real MVP. We appreciate y'all. Make sure you guys are following us on our Instagram, Facebook, and X. So checking those out. I haven't done anything on our TikTok in a while. I should probably do some videos on there. We have some other stuff that some like other clips that we have from old stuff that I can put up there. That'd be pretty good. Get our social media rolling a little bit more. But we've been traveling all this time, so it's not really like something we can just give me time. I need time, guys.
Yeah.
What's up?
Just like a closer to that conversation about the internet. We were talking to my brother a little bit about the question this morning, and I said, "Now look." I was like, "We've got 3 screens here. We've got camera.
We're streaming
internet,
our podcast.
Internet. It's literally like a part of the human
evolution.
Like evolution now is using the interwebs.
And
we've seen the before and the after, which is why we are called millennials, and we are not part of Gen Z people.
Yeah, millennials.
No, we are not the, oh my god, millennials. They're stupid. They eat the Tide Pods. No, that's Gen Z people, not us.
Okay, you don't need to defend us. This is our show. No one's attacking us right now. It's all right. There isn't a whole lot else we need to really touch on as far as like topics go. We've had a really long show, and we appreciate y'all joining. I think we're just gonna hit our plugs and get on out of here.
We got shows to watch.
It's a very slow news week, a couple weeks. There's just some few gaming things here and there that we could touch on, but they're not really all that special at the time. And if there's anything that has been reported, there's something you need to allow there. But I think we're going to get into our plugs then. It's going to be quite a week.
It says another moderator handled it for some reason. I don't know.
Oh.
Okay, Waves picket sign. You're funny.
So, Alex, you want to go ahead and plug your Twitch?
Yes, if you would like to watch me game, it's twitch.tv/cute_kitty, KUTE_KITTI. I stream on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings. Right now we're playing some Call of Duty Cold War. Everybody seems to be loving it, so we're probably just going to stick with that for the time being, to be honest.
Dead by Daylight's fun, too.
Dead by Daylight's fun as well, so we'll still go back to that one. The other thing I kind of really want to do, because we started up the conversation in our group chat, is I've really been aching to get back into Tomb Raider just to play through it again. And the other thing too, you're gonna hate me for this one because I kind of want you to re-download it again. And actually, ow!
What was that?
I just kicked my heel in the chair. It might actually just be downloaded on Steam, I think, but because it's really popular right now on TikTok, I want to go back into doing The Sims again.
Wait, what? The Sims is popular on TikTok?
Yes, the people acting like the way Sims do, and the music. Every time I hear like the music from The Sims, and I'm like, oh man, I really want to go play Sims 3.
Yeah,
I really want to play The Sims again. I could wear my Sims outfit, my naked Sims outfit on Twitch.
You'd have to make a new Plume Bob.
Oh yeah, my Plume Bob's destroyed.
I
can make a real one.
Oh, it looks like we had another. Oh, okay. Anyway. As far as my stream goes, it's twitch.tv/Mr. L. That's MASTERL. You can find me there Tuesday and Thursday evening and Saturday morning. I'll be streaming Fall Guys as far as the plan goes. I would like to load into Fortnite Reload eventually. That's like the new Fortnite game mode where it's kind of like Resurgence from Warzone, where you're respawning and stuff. And I don't know, it seems like an interesting game type, but I don't think I'll be checking that out anytime soon. I want to get through the Fall Guys Fame Pass first. But as far as our social media goes, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or X for you your new gen people. PTO Unlimited is what you'll search. PTO Unlimited _podcast on Instagram. As far as this YouTube channel goes, please like this video, and if you have not subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified when we're live, which is every other Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it is @_Mr. L.
Cute_kitty.
The final note. I think I had something written down here. No.
No. The final note is
we do.
No, but we do have voicemails.
We have voicemails.
Oh, I was gonna remind you.
That's what it was.
Oh, that's the final note. We have voicemails, people.
We have 2 voicemails.
Why don't you tell them how we can they can reach us?
You can reach us on these voicemails, 224-225-5780. You can call us if you would like. If you don't want to leave us messages on social media, you can do that as well. And if you're part of our podcast, shout it out. If you're part of something else you want to plug, go ahead and do so. We do screen them a little bit, so you're not going to be getting like there's people who've spammed us before, so you're not going to get that. Sorry. But here's one of them.
What up? It's your boy Patrick from the It Be Like That podcast, IBLT podcast on Twitter and Instagram. So I'm a little late on this because I didn't get to finish the podcast from a couple weeks ago, and you had asked me, I was listening to it, and you asked me about Mother May I. And Mother May I, basically, you'd have the person who's mother or father. It was called Mother May I, but if it was a guy, we would say Father May I. But basically, it's like it's kind of like the red light, green light, where you had a bunch of people lined up, and then someone would say, Mother, may I take 2 regular steps? And then the person who's mother would say yes or no. Mother, may I take 2 jumps forward? Yes or no. If whoever got to mother or father first won. So, like, mother, may I take 10 small steps? Or, like, can I take 2 large steps? And mother would say yes or no. So that's what Mother May I was.
I remember that now.
I don't.
Oh, jeez, Patrick.
I thought the voicemail was over. I don't.
I remember that now.
I don't remember Mother May I. I don't think I've ever played that. But we have another voicemail to play.
Hey, it's your boy Patrick from Solus_64 on Twitch. Look, I know I just called. While you guys were talking about all the games, it made me think of another game that no one mentioned. I waited jacks. You know, where you'd have like the little jacks on the
jacks.
ground, and you had a bouncy ball. You had to bounce the ball, try to pick up as many jacks as you can, and catch the ball before it hit the ground again. So that's a game I'm sure I couldn't tell you the last time I saw someone play is jacks. And then, fun fact, I've never played spin the bottle.
Oh.
So, you know, maybe next time we're out in Indiana or something, you know, we can play some spin the bottle. Fingers crossed for Josh. Fingers crossed for Josh.
Appreciate the voicemails.
Oh, yeah, we need to show Patrick how to play spin the bottle.
Yeah, we have to teach him.
To show him the Midwest ways.
Yeah, that's
hilarious.
a Midwest game for sure. Appreciate the voicemails. If you guys want to do, again, leave us a voicemail, 224-225-5780. That's the PTO hotline. Appreciate you leaving those. Yeah, that's our voicemails from Pat. We're going to get out of here, guys. Make sure you guys are playing your outdoor kids games that no one's playing. That's what he was mentioning, by the way. That was a couple episodes. Or was it last episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been a couple weeks. So, but yeah, that was our topic, was playing outdoors and what kids don't play anymore. So, and that's one of them. That was one of them we were talking about, was Mother May I guess, and we didn't know what that was.
I remembered what it was, but I remember it, but I didn't remember how to play it until he just described it.
Mentioned it. It's basically like Rover, or what's the
Red Rover.
Red Rover, kind of like that too. We're gonna go, guys. Appreciate y'all joining. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.